Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's vlog guys, I am going to make a video about the naturalization process or the citizenship. I know it's out of my content, but I still want to make a video out of it because it's like a big deal for me because, from being a Filipino to becoming a American citizen, that's like a drastic change, right? And I want to make sure I make a video and share my experience to you, and who knows, maybe some of my viewers are gonna be like getting their citizenship as well, and this video might help them. So here's my experience. Let's get started. Today's vlog, I am going to go over to you about my naturalization interview that happened this morning. Today is February 8th and I was able to pass my naturalization interview. Yes. So first and foremost, since this is during pandemic, right? So you have to make sure you have your mask on, and it's 15 minutes prior to interview before you can actually get inside the USCIS office. And then once you get inside, the officer is gonna ask for your interview appointment and your green card or your ID. So you have to make sure you have it handy so it's easier for you just to give it, and then you can just proceed to the next step. So the next step, once you get in, you're gonna put all your stuff in a conveyor, and then after that you're gonna go ahead and get your temperature. And I understand that it says in the letter it's not allowed to bring anyone with you unless otherwise it's your translator or your a lawyer. But I was able to bring my husband and my son inside. They were just sitting at the waiting area the entire time. Anyway, so it was, if you worry about the COVID, don't worry about it because they observe the social distancing, and then hand sanitizer everywhere, and the chair are like three parts away, so you don't have to worry about it. It's pretty safe. And then they are actually, it went quick. My appointment went very quick, and it was so funny because as I was waiting for my number to be called, so I was sitting there, and then my baby got hungry. He got so hungry all of a sudden, so I had to like sat on the corner and breastfeed my baby. And while I was breastfeeding my baby, the officer called me, so I had to like stop and run to the officer. So my husband, he walked me through by the door, and then so the officer was able to see my husband and my son. And that's actually, I think it helps a lot because the officer saw that I'm still with my husband, that my marriage is, is legit, or it's not a fraud, that we are still together. And I think it's a big plus for me because it was able to help me pass my interview. That's for sure. So anyway, when I get inside, so the officer was very, very, very sweet. I think you have to be nice to the officer too. So as soon as I got inside the room, of course, she asked me to sanitize my hand and all that stuff, and then sit down and all that. She asked for my my appointment right away, and for my passport and my green card and my driver's license. So you have to make sure you have a valid ID when you go there. You have to make sure you have your green card, of course. And if you have a passport like mine, I just renewed my passport, and I wasn't gonna bring my old passport with me because I was like, I have my new passport anyway. But you have to bring your old passport if you travel outside the United States, especially if this is the passport that you used the first time that you visited or came in the United States. It is very important that you bring it with you because the officer is gonna check for it. Yeah, who check the visas and all that stuff. Mine, she literally checked if I have my visa on my passport because she had to check if I went outside the United States, and the stamps, all that stuff. So regarding with the exam it's just really a piece of cake. If you study the civic naturalization, it's really easy. You don't really have to be I told the officer I was so nervous, and she was like, you don't have to worry about it. If you study the civic exam, you'll be fine. I was like, and she was so sweet. She was like the sweetest officer I've ever met. I was like, oh my god, she's an old lady and she was just a sweetheart. And she made my interview, you know, very smooth. Anyway, so the first exam that I did, because there are like three sets of exam plus your naturalization, the N400 letter, she gonna go through that as well. So the three parts of the exam were reading, writing, and then the 100 questions, the civic 100 questions. So the first one, she just had to the first exam was reading. I just have to read what's on the screen on the iPad. So I read, it was there are 100 senators in the United States, and then the writing, I just have to write there are 100 senators in the United States. And then on the civic test, out of 100 questions, she asked me six, right? The questions were, what is the capital of United States? Who is the president? Who is the chief justice? And what is which ocean is in west coast? And where is New York? I mean, the Liberty of New York. I forgot. And the other one is the answer for the other question was life and liberty. I forgot the question exact. But anyway, those are the six questions that she asked me, and I was able to answer everything. Thanks God. So the last part was, this is like, it took like more than 10 minutes because she had to like go over everything, including your name, the spelling, all that stuff, the social security number. She asked me why I wasn't employed during the year 2019. It's because I had my baby and I am now a full-time mom. That's why. And she saw, and it's because my visa prior coming here, it was a fiancé visa. So she had to make sure that our marriage is, it's not fraud. And like what I've said, I think it's a good thing that the officer was able to saw my husband and my kid. That way, she had that interpretation that we are still together and we are happily married. So here, the officer is gonna ask you to swear. You have to make sure to give all the information correct, and then she gonna ask you that all the information that you gonna give is correct. And yeah, and also for that, it's all about yes or no question. The have you ever done something like this, something this one, for example, were you ever a member or did you ever serve in help or otherwise participate in any of the following groups: military union? If yes, just say yes. If no, just say no. Yeah, those are the questions. Everything that you see on your N400 that says have you ever, she gonna go through everything that there. She gonna ask all of those to you. You just have to say yes, or it's basically a yes or no questions. And after that, so once everything is good, she gonna look for your documents and all that stuff. She gonna ask you if you speak English. She gonna ask you how did you learn English language, and if you enter for prostitution and all that stuff in the United States. Because I enter through fiancé and she want to make sure it's not prostitution and all that, so I said no. So she had to make sure that the papers are good and all that stuff, and there's no big deal. And also once you're done, the officer is gonna tell you, right, well, in my case, the officer told me right away that I was able to pass. And then actually she told me that usually they do the oath taking right away after, or the ceremony right away after, after you pass. But they have a printer issue, so they didn't do it today or right away because they have to fix the printer first, where they print the certificate of your naturalization. So I have to like come back in a week or two they're gonna call me when I'm gonna do my oath taking. So after I passed, actually, when after that, the officer gave me this paper. It's the N652, where it says here, you passed the English test and US history and government test. And then the other one, congratulations, your application has been recommended for approval. At this time, it appears that you have established your eligibility for naturalization. If final approval is granted, you will be notified of when and where to report for your naturalization ceremony. So she gave me this paper. So even though I haven't done my ceremony, I know that I was able to pass my naturalization process or interview. so all in all, my experience was really like super easy. So happy because I don't have to deal with all the paperwork anymore, because I hate paperwork. I'm not good in paperwork. But that's the reason why I'm so happy, because finally I can get rid of all these papers and I don't really have to worry about it. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. I hope I was able to help you with the thing that you needed to know. And good luck with your interview. I hope you all pass. Thank you so much. Bye.
Do you want to know?